Today's true crime story is a miraculous survival story of a young lady named Mary Vincent. This goes back to September of 1978 in California. Mary Vincent was a 15-year-old girl. She was living in California. She had went to her grandfather's house. She was attempting to run away to go to LA, and she was hitchhiking. A man named Lawrence Singleton, he was a middle-aged man, saw her hitchhiking and picked her up. She got into his car, and then he began driving in the wrong direction. She noticed that he was going in the wrong direction, so she became really uneasy. She tried to get away from him. As she tried to escape from him, he hit her with a sledgehammer, so she was knocked out. When she came to, she was completely undressed, and he was SAing her. She began trying to fight with him, and he began brutally attacking her, finishing that act, and then he took a hacksaw and he actually severed both of her arms. Once he did that, he threw her out of his car, over a ravine, and he left her thinking that she wasn't going to be alive anymore. She was, though. He drove off and left her. Miraculously, she was alive, and she was able to pack her wounds with mud from the ravine. And then she was able to crawl up and walk 3 miles to try to get help. As she was walking, she held her hands up to help stem the flow of blood. A young couple was driving. They happened to see her. They picked her up, drove her to the hospital. The hospital was able to save her. She stayed up that night. She worked with the police, able to get a sketch of this man. They arrested him. When it got to the court system, she was able to sit front row and testify. She had prosthetics done. She sat, she testified. She was very brave with that. He was only sentenced to 14 years. She was 15 years old and robbed of her innocence. He got 14 years. Out of that 14 years for good behavior, he only had to serve 8 years. So after 8 years, he was released. Now he relocates to Tampa, Florida. Once he's in Tampa, Florida in 1987, he comes into contact with a woman named Roxanne Hayes. Roxanne Hayes and him somehow met each other, knew each other. I'm not sure what their relationship was. So Roxanne Hayes, sorry, I had to sneeze. Roxanne Hayes had a painter coming to her house because she was having a little bit of work done. When the painter arrives at the house, he sees Roxanne Hayes completely naked, and he sees Lawrence Singleton, which he knew as Bill, standing over her repeatedly with a knife, and it was a very vicious attack. He froze for a minute, realized what he was seeing, immediately ran and called 911, got the cops there. Because of his fast acting, the police were able to come, catch him there. Now Lawrence Singleton tried to twist the story, say that it was a misunderstanding, that she attacked him. They ended up arresting him for it. He ended up getting convicted. He actually faced the death penalty, but with all of the time and everything, he didn't face death from that. He actually passed away in prison in Florida for having cancer. So he passed away in 2001 from cancer. But Mary Vincent actually showed true strength, courageousness. With the Florida incident, she actually went to Florida and testified as what she went through to show now he's a career criminal. This is his second extremely vicious and brutal attack on women that he has had. It showed a pattern. It helped get him convicted. That is a survivor. That's I don't even have words for how courageous and what she went through and endured. She went on to become a mother. She lived her life. Went to college. She got her college degree. She really exemplifies what a hero is and what a survivor is.